Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be a top 5, bottom 5 about Kiko Milano. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be an overview of Kiko Milano as a brand, and I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite products by the brand, as well as some of the products that I don't think the brand does very well. So it's sort of like top 5, bottom 5 style. And this is a new series that I have done in the past, but I wanted to bring it back for 2024. So once a month, I want to come on here and talk about different brands and share with you my top 5, bottom 5 items from that brand. And today we're putting a spin on it because I'm going to be doing my makeup with a full face of Kiko Milano as we're talking about it. I'll explain it to you in a little bit why. In case you're new here, you've never been to one of my videos, then hi, my name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and this greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade, and I like to just share my unfiltered opinions on this channel about all the makeup that I try, which is mainly eyeshadow palettes, Essence and Catrice. Kiko by now is a contender to be mentioned here as well. And really getting the use out of my makeup. That's my aim, so if that's something you're looking for as well, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. So first things first, I look a little drab, I feel. I've just been to the gym and I just came home, and I was like, you know what? Before I go and take a shower, I might as well just like film a video where I do my makeup on camera, because I'm gonna have to take it off later anyway, because I'm not really going anywhere anymore today. But if I'm just raving about some really good products, then I don't really mind if I do it that way. So if I look a little crusty, that's why. And the reason why I want to do this video, this style, I had planned it to just film it on my couch and just chat to you and show you the products. But then Kiko did this. They came out with a new limited edition collection called Stellar Love. And this is their limited edition collection for Valentine's Day. It's the blue packaging, so I bought a couple of new bits from Kiko that I'm desperate to try, and I will try to make sure to insert as many swatches as I can as I'm talking about these products as well. And I will be linking you to any reviews I might have done with some of these in the past over on the blog, or maybe previous full face makeup looks that I've done with Kiko, because I've done several, so that if you want to see more of these going on, that you can. The only thing I don't have from Kiko is an actual face primer. So that would be my first, like, not that great product. Granted, I've only tried one Kiko primer, but I will be using this instead. This I had to roll into my Shop My Stash because my Catrice one ran out, and this is from Kruidvat. And this is their Beauty Flash Illuminating Strobing Cream. And I feel this is very similar to MAC Strobe Cream. So I was like, you know what? I can roll it into this video. It's affordable. It's a Dutch makeup brand. So unless you're in the Netherlands, I don't think you'll be able to find this. But yeah, let me, as I'm applying the primer, chat to you about Kiko and my love for the brand. So in case you're not familiar, Kiko Milano is a Italian-based drugstore priced makeup brand that is pretty widely available. If you're in the US, your best bet is the online store, because they do have a US based online presence. And here in the EU, you will find Kiko stores in many bigger cities. They have their own stores, so they're not in like a drugstore or anything. And they very often do sales where you'll get like 2 products and then you get another 2 for free. And like with Kiko, you hardly ever have to pay full price, I feel. Like they're one of those brands where you can really easily wait for a deal. So also with these limited edition, like I just wanted to be one of the first people to chat to you about these products. So when I saw the announcement, I was instantly like, right, I have to grab these products ASAP and talk to you about them. So I wanted to film this video originally with my hair down, because I did get one of the products from the collection as a freebie with my purchase, and it's this headband. So when you see me do videos like this in the future, I now have a new headband, which I like because my old one was falling apart, which was from Primark. So that was a nice freebie. My first sort of worst product by Kiko is their primer. I tried the hydrating primer and it felt like an old school silicone primer, even though apparently it doesn't even contain silicones. I'm not even like really sure what's going on with that. It just felt like it was clogging all of my pores and it wasn't a good one. What I do like, however, that falls into the primer category from Kiko is this. And mine is looking very, very tatty because I use this every single day. And it's their Neutral Eye Base. The Neutral Eye Base from Kiko is now one of my favorite eyeshadow primers. It just is. I'm always someone who loved the Milani one, but that can be difficult for me to find because Milani is not a brand that's sold in stores here. And Kiko is, as I mentioned. So this is, for me, about as affordable as getting the Milani one because Milani is marked up. And as you can see, it has a little bit of like a skin tone to it. So it does do a little bit of neutralization as you're applying it. I feel for me and my redness and like veining, it's just not enough. So I do like to go in with my MAC paint pot in a bit before I do my eyeshadow. But yeah, this is actually really good at just grabbing onto shadow and giving you a really nice base layer for making sure that your eyeshadow lasts, I find. So now that I'm all primed and ready to go, I want to talk about foundation because that would be my next step. And I have not one, not two, not three, but 4 Kiko foundations in my collection. To say that Kiko is one of my favorite affordable foundations at this point would just be an understatement. The shade range can be challenging if you have fair skin or if you have very deep skin, and also if you have anything that isn't like a warm leaning, slightly olive skin tone. I said in my intro, Kiko is an Italian-based makeup brand, and you can definitely tell with some of the products that they're very much aiming at like a very different skin tone than I have. So for me and my more sort of pinky tone, I have found a couple of really nice things, something that I haven't tried much yet, and something that really surprised me, but I will be putting one that I really, really love and I haven't shown much on my channel yet. That's the one I want to put on my face. One of my long-standing favorites is the Insta Moisture from Kiko. It's really nice. It's a hydrating foundation. The lightest shade it comes in is 1R, and that's what this one is. So if you're paler than me, Kiko is not going to be the one for you. If you're even more pinky toned than me, again, Kiko is not going to be the one for you. This one is really lovely though. It's very hydrating. It's very nice. So when they came out with a glowy version, I knew I had to try it. So yeah, this is also the Insta Moisture foundation in the shade 1R, but this is the glow version. And this is the one I want to put on my face for you because I already reviewed it over on my blog and I fell in love when I was trying it. The one I still need to try, and this is in a completely different shade. Can I still find that? Ooh, it's nowhere. Oh, it's in 1N. So this is the Unlimited foundation, which was new in 2023. And this is long wear and comfort, it says. Long lasting. That's all I know. And this is in 1N. And I feel, if you look at the shades side by side, that this is a bit more yellow toned and this is lighter and a slightly pinker undertone. So I've been saving this one for when I go super fair in the wintertime, which is starting to happen around now. So I think I may roll this into my Shop My Stash in February. And finally, I have their Nourishing Perfection Cream Compact Foundation. And this is one I think that's been discontinued. The CR15 shade, I got this in. And it is a compact foundation and it has a cream. It looks very yellow and dark, I know. But I did like it. I actually did put this on my face in a full face makeup look of Kiko. And this is one I completely forgot I owned. Because it's such a different foundation for me that I still need to roll this into a Shop My Stash as well. This is still on the to try a pile. So yeah, that's why I'm going to go in with the one I fell in love with instantly, which is the Kiko Insta Moisture in 1R, the glow version. So, oh yeah, also something to note about Kiko's foundations. They have a little lock, a twist lock on their pumps. So if you lose the cap, it won't be that much of a big deal. Plus, I also think, if I hold these side by side, like this is frosted and this isn't, so you can't really tell. So I feel this looks a little bit more yellow tone than this one does. And this is also a touch lighter. So maybe why I like it. Like this is what it looks like on the back of my hand. It's got a slightly peach undertone, which I tend to like in terms of my foundations for sure. And this is a pretty good shade match for me. It's not perfect, like it's pretty yellow once it goes on, but I do feel it shears out beautifully and it doesn't oxidize to be like darker and more orange, which with affordable foundations I sometimes find is the issue. So let me speed you through this and I'll get back when I have this foundation on my face. And that is what the Kiko Insta Moisture Glow Foundation looks like. You can just see that it's very natural looking. It has a little bit of glow. It doesn't make you look like a grease ball. And it's not like a skin tint-like thing either. It does have like a medium coverage. Like I've only used like one pump because I don't like to go in with too much foundation. Concealer is next, and I have one concealer from Kiko I love, and I know I want to use it in this video, but I did purchase a new one. Again, with the Unlimited Foundation, they launched the full coverage Dark Circles concealer, and I was just curious after this. It's in shade 1, it seems. And this looks quite yellow compared to my favorite, which is the Skin Tone Concealer in shade 2. Shade 1 from the Skin Tone one is actually a green concealer. So if you're looking for an affordable green concealer, this may be worth a shot. But you can see, hopefully, this is yellow and this is far more pink. And I think they've changed the packaging on this because this used to come with... Oh, and by the way, this one I still need to review either too. So again, sometime in the next few months, this is going to be in a Shop My Stash. I currently have a bunch of concealers to test because I wanted to like really test a lot of concealers and I want to have some affordable things in there too. So this now just comes with a doe foot, and I'm a little bit sad because previously this came with a doe foot that rolled, and I don't believe they still do that anymore. So that was fun, but this works really well. I went through these one of these before in the past where yeah, I just use it up because I liked it so much. It is very tiny though. It's only 3.5 milliliters. So in terms of like using it up, it's quite easy too. Like it doesn't come with a whole lot of product, but it's also not that expensive and I really love it. It looks really natural, but it gives enough coverage as well. So let me blend it in so you can see. And I didn't feel with this concealer that it blends in nicely. It's a touch lighter than the foundation is, but it's not like too stark of a like brightening concealer, which is not what I want. I want something pretty close to my skin tone anyways, because that's what I just prefer. But it's, sorry, it's a bit dirty because I've been using it, but it's the BK Beauty 109 brush. I use it for both foundation and concealer, and I don't have really large features, but I feel that it really nicely gets everywhere and it can really nicely like blend out your foundation and it doesn't look streaky. So loving that brush. And I have found a new powder brush that I like. It's also by BK Beauty. This is our 112 brush. I currently have 2 powders from Kiko in my collection, but there is a third one that I used up in 2023. I loved it. It was the Radiant Fusion powder, which I feel is very similar to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder. I had mine in shade 01 from Kiko, which is very similar to Diffused Light from Hourglass. I did a short where I compared the two, which you can find on my channel if you just type in those names in the search bar for sure. I currently don't have that anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going to repurchase it, but I definitely do want to own it again because I just loved it that much. But I tend to be very sort of consistent with my powder. I tend to use one up before I move on to the next thing. So I try to not have too many powders on hand in one go. But they have a very white powder. This is the Universal Veil Finishing Powder. So this is, it's very white. So if you're not Like if you're very deep, this is probably not going to work. However, I do feel that it's very thin and finely milled, so it doesn't really leave any cast or anything, I find. It's really just used to, like, especially if you have darker skin, this is definitely a powder that is just used for, you know, having like the finishing touches of your makeup. It's not meant to be used as a setting powder. I don't use setting powders because I have dry skin. I don't need my makeup to set because my skin doesn't like it if I do that. So I always just go in with finishing powders, to be quite fair. If you are looking for a finishing powder or a setting powder, then the color correction face fixing powder may be nice. And that's what this one looks like. So it comes in the same like silver packaging. I have a bunch of these Kiko products with this silver packaging. So it's got the color correction if you want that. So I think I want to use this one today because I haven't used it on camera before. This one I have. So that's why I thought we could use this one on camera for a change. And that's pretty much all I do in terms of powder. As I mentioned, dry skin. So I only set my makeup in the areas where I want it to set. Like that's where I use powder, and the rest I just leave as is. Moving on now to the rest of the face. So bronzer, blush, and highlight. And this is where I'm going to rope in some of those new products from the Stellar Love collection. It didn't come with any foundations and concealers. I was quite surprised with that because very often Kiko will have like a full face in their limited editions. And I only bought the items from the collection that were interesting to me. We'll get to those products when we get there because those are the ones I want to put on my face. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We have bronzers, and the Kiko powder bronzers and me, we've had a love affair for quite some time, especially with this one. This is the Flawless Fusion in 01. And if you're looking for a light bronzer, look no further than Kiko. This is the only bronzer, like one of the very few bronzers I have found that works for me around this time of year when I'm at my palest. I very much, as a fair-skinned person, struggle with finding bronzers that work. They're usually too red, too orange, too muddy, too green. Like there's always something wrong with them. But this one is very nice and neutral. It's not overly yellow, and it does add a bit of warmth, which is what I like. If I want something a little bit more intense, I go for the Radiant Touch bronzer in 101. This has a little bit of glow. It's got a bit of pearl, and it's significantly deeper in the pan compared to the Flawless Fusion. So these are the lightest ones in both of these lines. And this is the Flawless Fusion, and this is the Radiant Touch. So you can see slightly different undertone, wintertime bronzer or summertime bronzer. That's how I use them. Love my Kiko bronzers. But today I want to go back to this one again. Again, something I still have to review, I believe, but it's the Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour. Officially, it's a contour. It's in shade 200, but on me, this is a bronzer shade. I very often, like, brands will say something is a contour, and on me, it works like a bronzer. It's just the way it is. So let me apply this, and then we'll get to it. Like, look at how warm toned that is. That's not a contour on me. And here is what that cream bronzer looks like on me. I think this looks stunning. It's very nice and sheer and buildable. I think it looks like I put a little bit more on this side than I did this side, or at least I brought it further in. So let me see if I can blend it. I'm using a Spectrum B01 brush to apply any sort of cream bronzer. I've been loving it. It kind of like blends everything in. And I just have a massive forehead, so I always feel I need a bit of bronzer, especially if my hair is up, just to sort of create a bit more dimension and not have this like white like plane right in front of everyone's face. So I do like a bit of bronzer here and there just to blend everything together. So loving this product. This was love at first use. I haven't even reviewed it. I already put it in my 2023 favorites because that's when I first tried it. It was instant love. My next step in terms of makeup is always going to be a highlighter. And here I have my first new product for you. But I first want to talk about the old stuff. My love for the Glow Fusion highlighters has been well documented. I've had mine for years. I've got a huge dent in it because I go back to it all the time. This is a more subtle highlighter. This is not going to give you like, wow, I'm glowing from space. But but it's really pretty and they still sell it. These two I like a little bit less. Like, I like them, but I don't use them as much as the other one. This one is the Ultimate Glow Highlighter in shade 2, because I like a peachy tone. This was called something like Coral or something like that. It's not a coral. It's more like a peach. If I want to go for a warm toned highlighter in the summertime, this can work quite well. And then I wanted to try their Glitter Baked Highlighter. And this one I still have to review because I only got it towards the end of 2023. And it does look like it's got actual glitter in, but I feel that once it's on the cheeks, it doesn't look glittery at all. It's not going to make you look like a disco ball, in case that's something you don't want to do. However, in this new collection, they're doing liquid highlighters, and I've been meaning to try a liquid or cream highlighter from Kiko for the longest time, but the shades that I think might work for me are usually sold out, and this, especially in this lighting, it just looks so pretty. It's the Radiant Liquid Highlighter in shade 1. So I already swatched this the other day, just to give it a whirl, and I just thought it looked really pretty. So let me see how this works. So I think we can use this straight from the doe foot. Let's commit. Oh yeah, that's very pretty. It's subtle. It's again not going to give you like, woo, I'm highlighting from space kind of thing, but it works and I really like it. This is the more pinky toned one of the two. There is a warmer toned option, and this is like a peachy rose gold in the tube, but I feel that on the skin it's very transparent and you just get that shine. Like, this doesn't have any sort of base pigment to it. It's very transparent and therefore very user-friendly. If you can get your hands on this limited edition collection, I think you might like this one. Another product I love. I'm terribly sorry. Like, I remember what I said, if it comes in this like silver packaging, I'm usually inclined to love it. Blushes. Kiko blush is some of the best. I have a really old one. This they no longer do, the Shade Fusion blush. This is in 05. I remember it was called something like Marsala. It has 3 shades, and they no longer do this kind of thing. But this is a mauve tone. And because I like that one so much, and I wanted to see if their unlimited blush in the shade Warm Mauve, or Mauve, in shade number 10 would work. This is a little bit more warm tone than I would go for, but as far as a mauve that leans a little bit more warm tone goes, it's very pretty, and I feel that the quality is the same as the old one I have. But the thing I want to use is from this Stellar Love collection, and I was this is the product that made me want to buy products from this collection. It's a cream blush in the bottom with a powder that matches the shade on top. And this, it's in shade 01 Blush Crush. They did write the name of this on here, which is good. Like, these are them swatched. So what I thought I could do is use a little bit of the cream on my cheeks first and then top it off with some of the powder. I'm probably going to look a little blushy and intense, but we're just going to have to do a very intense eye as well. Like, look at how intense this looks in the pan, and then look at what it does. It nicely shears out, and it actually pulls up some of the cooler undertones I have in my skin tone. And once it goes on, I feel it shears out so beautifully that it doesn't look as warm as it did when I first started it. Let's apply the powder blush on top. So I think that adding that powder blush on top is giving me the look that I would want to get. Like, you can definitely see where I've applied the cream underneath, but that powder blush really nicely like ties the whole thing together. I do feel that now that I have the cream with the powder on top on, that you can see a little bit of that warmth coming through. I prefer a slightly warmer blush tone on myself rather than something very cool toned. Because I feel it makes me look extra pale. And this way I feel I can sort of like do whatever makeup look I want with the rest of my makeup. Like, I like it if it's a little bit blushy and you can get a little bit of that like reddish tone that I normally have going on anyway. Like, it's a really nice natural flush. That's the result I'm getting from this. So I do really enjoy the way this looks. Next up is eyeshadow. And Kiko and me and eyeshadow, we aren't always the best of friends. Their palettes have so far never really been that how should I put this? Just, we haven't been the best of friends. So currently in my Shop My Stash to review it for you in January are these two palettes I got from Kiko in the Black Friday sale. So I got the blue toned one. This is their Glamour Multi-Finish eyeshadow palette in shade 5. And then they also do this green tone in shade 6, which I just wanted to try. So these I still have to put on my face to see if I start to feel differently. So yeah, eyeshadow palettes from Kiko and me. I've never found one I liked. I very often find their color stories lacking, which is why, for the sake of the video, I have to be very careful with one of these. So this is the one from the Stellar Love. And this is actually, it came broken. Like the actual pan, like this came loose in transit. So I have to be very careful with showing you this. So let me see if I can like hold it down somehow. Let me hold it here so it doesn't flip out. So here's what that looks like. And this is another product that I saw on their Instagram and made me go like, I think I might like that actually. So it's got some like cooler tones. I mean, it's Kiko. They're going to put in a gold. They insist on putting a warm tone there. But I feel the rest of the shades are quite neutral or cool toned, which I like. So I want to do something like blue purple. That's the idea. And then maybe rope in some of this. This was in their sale. This is from their holiday collection, the holiday premiere eyeshadow palette in Color Symphony, which, look at that shimmer and shine. It looks really pretty. So these are a little bit like duochrome as well. So I still wanted to try it, but I found it too expensive when it was first out, and that was like 30% off. So I was like, might as well try it. And then I can perhaps like rope in some of my eyeliners that I already have, but the collection also comes, the Stellar Love one, comes with eyeliners and eyeshadow sticks as well. So they now have this. I have more of these. I forgot to take them out. These are okay for the price point. These aren't super expensive, these liquid liners from Kiko, but I feel that very often I've done one eye and then I want to move on to the other, and then it no longer works as nicely. However, I swatched this on the back of my hand. I'm not sure if you can see, but I swatched it yesterday, and that swatch stained. So I'm a bit nervous whether I'm even going to try this one today, because I don't want to have to like walk around with like pink lines around my eyes for the rest of the week, because it stains. It just does. And then of course they have their eyeshadow and eye pencil. And this comes with a blue eye pencil and a silver eye shadow. And it's a cream shadow, but it's a very different texture to some other things I will show you in a minute. This silver is super rich and creamy, and I thought it could make a nice addition to the palette. And then maybe use this blue eyeliner thing. It's like a really nice vibrant blue. It's very intense to sort of emphasize some of the blue tones. So I thought I could do that. But of course, speaking of eyeshadow sticks from Kiko, I wanted to do some swatches in this video as well, just to show you comparisons, because Kiko has been changing around a lot of their formulas because they had to, because of European Union guidelines. But I have a bunch of their older things, and I believe these are supposed to be the same shade. So this is the long-lasting eyeshadow stick. These I'm going to compare for you, but just to show you how much I love these are all the other colors I have. Some of these I've had for years, some of these are newer to me. Like you can see, like the ones that don't have the number are some of the older ones. Kiko eyeshadow sticks and me, like this is a love affair that's been going on for a decade. Same thing actually for their like kohl pencil liners. Really lovely. I really enjoy them. So they have some really nice rich creamy textures. You don't have to buy high-end. You can get them for Kiko, and if they're on sale, they're one of the best deals around. These are under 10 euros a piece. I think they're around like $7.99 or like $8.99. And if you can get a deal on these, they're really lovely. So that's something I like from the brand, but it's like if I had to make a pick, this would be in the bottom 5 for sure in terms of products from Kiko. And also their eyeshadow palettes, together with the primers I've mentioned so far. Everything else I kind of love. But what then do I like in terms of eyeshadow from Kiko? And here again, I'm going to have to do a bit of a swatch for you in a minute, because I do really enjoy Kiko singles. They can do good eyeshadow. They can do incredibly good eyeshadow, just not when they put it in a palette, I feel. I have one of their glitter showers. I'm not sure if they still do these. I think they do. This is a really stunning, very high shine, metallic silver shimmer. And then I have two of the new water shadows. So this is again something they've reformulated. Let me hold up an old one and a new one. So this is what they used to look like, and now they look like this. I have three of the old ones, and I sort of repurchased these because I used to own these shades already. And then I decluttered them, and then I missed them in my collection. I have Rosy Taupe, which is 201. Some of these products are still around. This is 227, which is Light Taupe. And then I have the shade that was just called Taupe in 228. They now do a shade called, I believe it was called Mauve, which is shade 14, which I like. And they do a shade that's called Light Taupe, which is shade 6. And this was out of stock when I placed my last order. So what I wanted to do was like swatch these side by side to see what the formula is like and whether they're any different. But as you can see, it's not even the same shade. Like this is so much lighter than this is. This is more brown toned. This is more gray leaning. I mean, if you look at the regular taupe shade, you can see how much more gray and plum this is. This is a warm taupe. The other two were cool tone taupes. Depending on what you like, you may not love this shade, but this to me looks like a perfect taupe shade. So I'm going to swatch these three taupey things together and these two shadow sticks. This is the old shade is 38 and the new shade is 15, and I believe they're called something like Golden Taupe. You can definitely see a difference in texture. Like this is the new one, and these are the old ones, and you can just see that these seem to have a lot more base pigment to them, like the one on my middle and ring finger, and this one seems to have more sparkle. Like it's a little bit thinner. And these are apparently slurries. That's what I heard the lipstick lesbians actually explain over on their TikTok. If you want to have inside information on like makeup products and how they're made, you need to go onto TikTok and follow the lipstick lesbians, because one of the ladies on that channel is a makeup product developer, at least she used to be, and she has so much inside knowledge about formulations and how they're made. And she was actually talking about these shadows on her TikTok the other day, and I was like, ooh, that's perfect. So yeah, this is the new one, and then these are the old ones. So you can just see that the new one has a little bit more shine actually to it. I think I like that better. Like, I like the look of that. Like, it's not as warm toned as I had expected. It's like a very light brown base, but then it has a lot of like really nice cool toned sparkle. It's definitely not the same shadow. It's definitely a very different formula. It's not the same as it used to be, but I do really like that. And then I wanted to swatch some of these, so let me make sure. So this is going to be the new one. That's going to be the one on that side. Kind of. Like this is the new one all the way to the left, and it just doesn't have as much pearl as the other one has. Like this one has a bit more of a brown base, and then it has like a golden sparkle, whereas the other one pulls almost mauve on me. And the other one are far too gray toned. I thought they could be similar, but they're not. One more single shadow that I love from them is their like liquid cream shadows. They're really nice. The new ones that they've reformulated are a little bit moussier than this is. But this is the old formula that I just love. This is in rosy silver, and I really love the shade. So let me get some of these new things on my face first, and then we'll chat about another product that I just don't love. All right, the eye look is done, save for mascara. but that's something I need to tell you about. Let me tell you about these eyeshadows and how pretty I feel this makeup look has come out. So I pretty much set it up using this Stellar Love eyeshadow palette. I forgot to tell you the name. It's the Under the Starry Sky. It's number 2, and I used every shade except for the brown and the gold here. So this is in the crease. I blended it out with this, then I used some of the blue eyeliner to sort of set a base along the top lash line, use the blue shimmer in the outer V, and this is just the blue. I didn't use a base underneath it. I think for a blue shimmer, it performs really, really well. And then just because I wanted to make sure that the purple was as dimensional as possible, I went in with a bit of the silver from this cream eyeshadow stick, and then I just applied the purple in the inner corner and over that silver shimmer, and I use another brush to like really blend it up here, and that's that lovely sparkle that you're getting. Like you can see, like even though the silver has disappeared because it's now purple looking, I feel that adding that cream shadow really helped that shade to come alive. And just because I wanted more purple and I wanted to use the Holiday Premiere palette as well, I put these 2 purples on the lower lash line, and I really feel that brings it together. And then I went in with a bit of that blue eyeliner again and a bit of a tight line. So I feel very pretty. I think this is the first time Kiko has done any sort of eyeshadow where I feel like, yes, I feel pretty. I really, really do. So this is very, very much up my street. So finally. But something that I've not loved from Kiko at all. So this is my fourth thing that I don't really go to the brand for is mascara. I've tried some in the past and I've never loved them. This was part of a limited edition collection called the Blue Me collection, and they threw it in my order as a free gift with purchase. So I was like, why not give it a whirl? This is only just in though, and with most mascara, I feel it needs a little bit of time for it to be at its peak moment, but very often I don't like brushes. But this one looks promising, like at least something I might like. It's a bit big, like a little bit long, so I'm not sure how my lashes are gonna like it, but let me throw it on and see if I like it. We still have one category left that we haven't talked about yet. Again, I want to use one of the new products from the Stellar Love collection to show it on because it had me intrigued as well. But Kiko can do good lip products. So their glosses, the 3D Hydra glosses, are some that so many of you told me to try, and I finally did. I put all 3 of the shades I have on in my latest full makeup, full face of Kiko Milano. So if you want to see this on, then you can. And then of course their Velvet Passion lipsticks. I wore this the other day, so it was very nice and easy and handy. The Velvet Passion line from Kiko has some dupes in for Lisa Eldridge shades. And like many high-end brands, that satisfying snap of a magnet, it just feels so much more luxurious than what these go for. And I'm currently in the midst of trying Kiko lip liners. So I love their eyeliner, so I was like, they probably do a good lip liner as well. And I think of the two, because this is more of a cooler toned mauve, and the lipstick I have is quite warm toned, so I figured I would try this one out today. This is the Creamy Color Comfort Lip Liner in shade 10, which I think was also something like mauve, but it's a little bit more warm toned. We're going in with the Stellar Love Duo. This is a lip gloss and a lipstick all in one. And the lipstick looks like this. It's not a lot of lipstick. I'm gonna have to be very fair, but then you do also get a matching gloss in the bottom. And like these, because I like these products, I was like, maybe this is still really good, who knows? So that is what the lip liner does. It's very much like my lips but better. It feels very creamy, and it very much reminds me of my Lisa Eldridge ones. Here's the thing, like I have this theory that Kiko actually, because they're made in Italy and because so much high-end makeup is also made in Italy, that some of it may actually be manufactured by the same like companies. Not that they're necessarily dupes, but they feel very similar. Like not that they have the same formula, of course, because they're so much more affordable, but it's close. Very nice and creamy. And I love this shade. How do you apply these? Does anybody know? let me put the gloss on top. So I do really enjoy this product. Like formula-wise, the lipstick and the gloss feel really nice on. I'm just not a huge fan of the shade. However, because this is blue and this is orange, like if I'm wearing the right color, like the wrong colored sweater for this, it should be green. Maybe if I like show you more of like the black top I'm wearing underneath, it might work a little bit better. Because I do feel it works because of the blue and orange are opposites on the color wheel, so that's why they kind of work together. But I would definitely go with something that is as rosy as this lip liner, or maybe something a little bit more mauve. That would have been much more my vibe, because I don't like, right now I feel there's a lot of lip, and I would like the focus to be more so on this gorgeous eye look. I'm really enjoying my eye look today. You see, if I come closer, like how pretty this is? I'm very much in love with this. So yes, that's my top 5, bottom 5 from Kiko Milano. In terms of a bottom 5, I do want to add one more thing to really get to 5, which is their skincare line, because Kiko does a lot of skincare as well, and that I haven't really found a lot of things in. And from this like limited edition collection, I've only picked and chosen some things that I liked. Or that I like the look of, because there are limited editions where they seem to recycle a lot of their older products and just put it in different packaging. That's something they tend to do as well. And a lot of the bronzers and blushes, like powder bronzers and blushes that they do in their limited edition collections, aren't always quite right for me. It's a little bit like this lip color. It's far too orange and it never works. So I try to stay away from Kiko limited edition collections and their skincare range. I've tried a couple of bits here and there, but it's just too fragranced, and it's definitely like, you know, skincare by a makeup brand, rather than like, I'm just much more a fan of like French pharmacy brands and K-beauty. That's sort of like where I'm currently trying most of my, or where I'm getting most of my skincare from. So I'm just not a huge fan of when a brand isn't like focused on doing just skincare. So yeah, but I do really enjoy Kiko. As you saw in this video, a lot of them are long-standing favorites in my makeup collection. So I would love to know, what is your favorite product from Kiko? I would love to know, or if there's something you've tried and you really, really didn't like it, let me know as well. But for now, I would like to finish the video here. Thumbs it up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos every single week, so I'd like to stay tuned. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned for more, and you can expect a top 5 bottom style video with another brand next month. So if you'd like to stay tuned for that as well. See you in the next one. Bye-bye!